Joining us now for more on all of this is NewsNation's political editor, Chris Stirewalt, political director. Chris, great to have you here. Do you think we could have another narrow election in Georgia?
I suspect we will. Georgia has become a more competitive state, and I think that report was just spot on, really captured the phenomenon in Georgia, which is emblematic of the Republican Party nationally. The traditional Republican coalition of more affluent, college-educated suburbanites with rural voters has been interrupted. Those two warring camps of blue-collar Republicans who are much more pro-Trump and white-collar Republicans who are, in many cases, especially female voters, repulsed by Trump, that is the conundrum. And Georgia has a lot of those kinds of voters. When you go into the Atlanta suburbs and other metro areas around the state, you find that this is really the phenomenon. And it's not just there. It's North Carolina.
Yeah.
It's Virginia. We see it again and again for the GOP.
Yeah, and this feud between former President Trump and current Governor Kemp is really something. And we saw it reignite this week after Trump announced he's going to hold a news conference on Monday to reveal fraud once and for all in Georgia. And immediately right back, Governor Kemp, tweeted out there is no fraud. It got particularly bad between these two men, with Trump calling him names on the campaign trail.
Well, Trump came for him and brought his all. He recruited a former United States senator to run against him in a primary down in Georgia. And I'll tell you what, Brian Kemp won a lot of respect, not just among Republicans, but among Democrats, because he stood his ground and crushed the challenger in that primary before going on to win decisively in the general election. There are a lot of Republicans who wish that Brian Kemp was running for president and was in the race, because he has demonstrated he has a capacity that Ron DeSantis has not, which is that he knows how to go toe-to-toe with Trump and neither overswing nor underswing, and people do respond to that. So that Kemp primary was a watershed moment for Republicans, and if they're going to avoid having Trump as their nominee again, it'll be following a path that Kemp blazed for them.
You brought up Governor DeSantis, so I want to stick with that for 1 second. I think a lot of people are wondering if he's ever going to, well, let me put it this way. Were you at all surprised by the fact that after the fourth indictment, he still continues to really try and appeal to the Trump base by not in any way commenting in a negative way, as some of the other candidates are now beginning to do, about Trump's baggage? I mean, I heard somebody say, if you were the CEO of a bank or even just the local McDonald's and somebody came in and said, I'd like to apply for a job, and by the way, I have 91 indictments of, but I haven't been convicted of anything, you would say, yeah, sorry, no thanks. And the fact
that's right. It's like Big Julie from Guys and Dolls. My record is perfect: 32 arrests, no convictions.
Yeah. I think there are a lot of people beginning to, everybody thought that Governor DeSantis would take him on, and he hasn't.
So DeSantis did try to take Trump on. DeSantis's strategic error, he followed a playbook that Ted Cruz had created for the 2016, even hired the same folks for the 2016 election, which is he was going to go after Trump's base voters. He was going to go after core MAGA supporters, and he was going to get them on culture war issues. He was going to get them on the woke stuff, and he was going to try to peel them off from Trump. But he failed. And as a consequence, while he was doing it, he alienated the other parts of the Republican Party. The biggest single chunk of Republicans are always going to be Republican, but they're persuadable. They're not hardcore Trump supporters. They might go another direction. DeSantis failed to appeal to them first and went after Trump supporters. And now as DeSantis tries to turn the corner and say, hey, guys, let's all get together so that we can take on Trump, I don't think he has that credibility there.
All right. Chris Stirewalt, always great to have you on the show. Thanks so much. Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.